Okay, we'll look at the first feature, time travel. So judgments involve what cognitive scientists call time traveling. That is the projection of oneself as the thinking subject into the past or the future. So if we pay attention, we begin to notice that when we're worried about something, when we're thinking about something, but particularly when we're sort of very invested, we're ruminating, we're worrying about something, that it always has this quality of past or future. In the past, I was like this, I was unhappy, or I was happy. In the future, will I be happy again? In the past, I was settled. In the future, am I going to be homeless? Or it could be whatever, you know. So there's always this quality of time travel. And this can be very subtle. But the point is that when we are, especially in meditation, paying attention to the judgmental thought processes, the difficult thought processes, can we notice that there's a temporal element? And the antidote to this is to ground our attention in sensory experience. Okay? So it's very different to think about something. That's a very sort of prefrontal process. Thinking about something, it requires imagination, it requires abstraction. But whenever we ground our awareness in sensory experience, there's a shift from this sort of default mode network, this prefrontal area, into more of a midline cortical area, older neural structures that do not support this abstraction of time. So as metabolic activity in the brain, which is somewhat limited, as it moves from here, moves in deeper, older parts of the brain, that temporal aspect begins to fall away. And it falls away also with the idea of a separate, limited self. So the antidote, mindfulness meditation, is to pay attention to sensory experience. And that in particular, the breath, that's our biggest tool, at least in my experience. The biggest tool that we have is to come to the breath. It's very beautiful, it's very enjoyable, it's something that is very delicate and can harness our attention. We can become deeply absorbed. And the moment that we do that, we shift our processing style from that doing mode into the being mode, from a narrative mode to an experiential mode. Okay? And that is why meditation is a very powerful antidote to time travel, which is one of the features of worry, of rumination. And that immediately creates that sort of shift in our meditative state. Okay, so that's the first quality to pay attention to.